Most people do not spend too much at the grocery store because they are buying luxury food. They spend too much because they buy ingredients that only work for one meal. A special sauce for one recipe. A bag of salad that lasts 2 days. A box of breakfast food nobody wants after Wednesday. Several snacks that disappear immediately. Then, halfway through the week, the refrigerator is still full, but somehow there is nothing useful to cook. So today, I want to show you a different way to shop. These are 20 basic groceries that can cover an entire week of breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, and leftovers. Not 20 expensive health foods. Not 20 ingredients that require advanced cooking skills. Just flexible groceries that can work together in different combinations. And stay with me until the end, because after the list, I will show you exactly how I would turn these 20 groceries into 7 days of meals without eating the same dinner every night. Let us start with the ingredient that makes almost everything else on this list more useful. Number 1, rice. Rice is one of the best foods to build a weekly meal plan around because it does not force you into one specific recipe. You can serve it beside chicken, mix it with vegetables, add it to soup, turn it into fried rice, put it inside a burrito, or combine it with beans for a complete and filling meal. The important thing is to buy plain rice rather than small flavored packets. Those packets are convenient, but most of what you are paying for is portioning, seasoning, and packaging. Cook a larger batch once, refrigerate the extra safely, and use it in different meals throughout the week. Monday's plain rice can become Wednesday's vegetable fried rice. That is the kind of ingredient we want. One purchase, several meals. Number 2, beans. You can choose dried beans or canned beans depending on your time and budget. Dried beans are usually cheaper per portion. Canned beans are faster and still affordable compared with many other protein sources. Beans can become chili, soup, tacos, rice bowls, salad, spreads, or a simple side dish. And here is the mistake many people make. They buy beans for one recipe and then let the rest sit in the pantry for 6 months. Instead, plan 2 meals around the same type of bean. Use black beans in rice bowls one night and tacos 2 days later. Use chickpeas in a salad for lunch and in a curry for dinner. A flexible grocery only saves money when you actually use it more than once. Number 3, eggs. Eggs are the emergency meal of the week. When you have no meat thawed, no dinner planned, and very little energy, eggs can still become a real meal in 10 minutes. You can scramble them, fry them, boil them, make an omelet, add them to rice, put them in a sandwich, or bake them with leftover vegetables. Eggs also help turn small leftovers into something more substantial. A few potatoes and half an onion may not look like dinner. Add eggs and suddenly you have a skillet meal. That is why eggs belong on a practical grocery list. They protect you from the night when your original meal plan falls apart. Number 4, old-fashioned oats. Oats are one of the simplest ways to cover several breakfasts without buying multiple boxes of cereal. You can make hot oatmeal, overnight oats, homemade granola, baked oats, or blend them into flour for pancakes. Buy the large plain container and add your own flavor. Banana and cinnamon one morning, peanut butter the next, apple and a little honey after that. The base stays the same, but the breakfast feels different. And unlike many sweet breakfast products, oats can also be used in baking or as a topping for fruit. One ingredient, several jobs. Number 5, potatoes. Potatoes can become more different meals than almost anything else in the store. Bake them whole, roast them in cubes, mash them, boil them, add them to soup, Fry leftover cooked potatoes with eggs. Turn them into wedges beside chicken. The convenience aisle is full of potatoes in more expensive forms. Frozen fries, prepared mashed potatoes, refrigerated potato sides, pre-seasoned wedges. Those products are useful when you need speed, but whole potatoes give you more options for less money. Just do not buy the largest bag simply because the price per pound is lower. A large bag is only a bargain when your household can finish it before it spoils. Number 6, onions. If inexpensive food tastes boring, the missing ingredient is often not an expensive sauce. It is an onion. An onion cooked slowly in a little oil creates the base for soup, rice, beans, pasta sauce, eggs, chicken, curry, and many one-pan meals. It adds sweetness, depth, and aroma without requiring a long list of ingredients. Keep a bag of yellow onions if your household uses them regularly. They last well, they work in almost every savory meal, and they help simple ingredients taste more complete. Number 7, carrots. Carrots are inexpensive, durable, and easy to use across several meals. You can eat them raw, roast them, add them to soup, mix them into fried rice, grate them into salad, or cook them with chicken and potatoes. Whole carrots usually last longer than many delicate vegetables. That matters because food waste can quietly destroy a grocery budget. It does not matter how healthy or inexpensive something looked in the store if you throw it away untouched at the end of the week. Carrots give you time. Number 8, cabbage. Cabbage is one of the most useful vegetables that many shoppers ignore. One head can provide several different dishes. Slice it thin for slaw, add it to soup, stir-fry it with rice, cook it with onions and potatoes, use it in tacos, roast it in the oven. It also lasts much longer than most bagged salad greens. A delicate salad mix may look convenient on shopping day, but by the end of the week, it can become an expensive bag of wet leaves. Cabbage is less glamorous, but it survives the week and keeps working. Number 9, frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables are your backup plan when the fresh vegetables are gone, forgotten, or beginning to spoil. Keep 1 or 2 plain bags in the freezer. Broccoli, peas, corn, spinach, green beans, or mixed vegetables all work. You can add a handful to eggs, rice, soup, pasta, or a stir-fry without preparing an entire bag. That means almost no waste. And plain frozen vegetables are more flexible than the versions covered in sauce. Once a manufacturer adds sauce and seasoning, the price usually rises and the vegetable becomes useful for only one type of meal. Buy plain vegetables and choose the flavor yourself. Number 10, seasonal fruit. You do not need 5 different fruits every week. You need 1 or 2 fruits that are affordable, in good condition, and likely to be eaten. That may be bananas, apples, oranges, pears, grapes, or whatever is in season where you live. Do not become loyal to one specific fruit when its price is unusually high. Be loyal to the purpose. You need something quick for breakfast, snacks, or dessert. Choose the fruit that fills that role at the best price that week. We are halfway through the list, and now we are moving into the ingredients that connect everything together. These next items are what turn rice, vegetables, eggs, and potatoes into meals that actually feel different from each other. Number 11, flour. You do not need to become a serious baker to benefit from keeping flour at home. Flour can make pancakes, simple flatbread, pizza dough, biscuits, muffins, gravy, and basic sauces. It also helps coat chicken or vegetables before cooking. The key is not to learn 20 complicated recipes. Learn 2 or 3 simple ones. A basic pancake recipe. 1 easy dough. 1 simple sauce. That alone can replace several boxes and mixes without making your kitchen life harder. Number 12, canned tomatoes. Canned tomatoes can rescue almost any collection of basic ingredients. Beans and tomatoes become chili. Tomatoes, onions, and seasoning become pasta sauce. Tomatoes and vegetables become soup. Tomatoes with rice and chicken become a completely different meal from plain roasted chicken. Keep 1 or 2 cans in the pantry and you always have the beginning of something. Jarred sauces are useful, but canned tomatoes give you more freedom. You can make the sauce spicy, mild, creamy, herby, or rich, depending on what the meal needs. Number 13, a whole chicken. A whole chicken can cover more than one dinner when you plan for the leftovers before cooking it. The first meal might be roasted chicken with potatoes and carrots. The second meal could use the leftover meat in sandwiches, soup, tacos, fried rice, or pasta. And the bones can be simmered with water, onion ends, and carrots to make broth. But here is an important warning. A whole chicken only saves money when you use the entire bird. If your household dislikes dark meat, never uses leftovers, or does not have time to handle it, another cut of chicken may be a better purchase. The smartest option is not always the one with the lowest price per pound. It is the one your household will finish. Number 14, plain yogurt. Plain yogurt can cover breakfast, snacks, sauces, dips, baking, and marinades. Add fruit, oats, cinnamon, honey, or jam for breakfast. Add garlic, salt, lemon, and herbs for a simple sauce. Use it instead of sour cream on potatoes or tacos. 1 large tub can do several jobs that would otherwise require multiple smaller products. And because it is plain, each person can flavor it differently. That is another advantage of basic groceries. They stay flexible until the moment you use them. Number 15, milk. Milk can support breakfast, baking, sauces, soups, drinks, and coffee. Choose the milk or suitable alternative that your household actually uses. The unnecessary spending usually begins when one basic milk product turns into several flavored drinks, creamers, individual bottles, and specialty products. Those products may be worth it for you, but they should be intentional purchases. Before buying another milk-based drink, ask whether you are paying for something you could easily add yourself, such as sugar, vanilla, cocoa, or coffee. Number 16, a block of cheese. A block of cheese can be sliced for sandwiches, grated over pasta, melted into eggs, added to potatoes, cubed for snacks, or used in tacos. Pre-shredded and individually wrapped cheese can save time, but they usually cost more and are less flexible. A block lets you decide what shape you need after you get home. That may sound like a small detail, but it helps solve a common kitchen problem. You have cheese, but it is the wrong kind for the meal. A block can become whatever the meal needs. Number 17, peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of the most useful foods for fast meals and snacks. It can go on toast, into oatmeal, inside a sandwich, with fruit, in a smoothie, or into a simple sauce. It lasts a long time and requires no cooking. Every weekly grocery plan needs at least one food that works when nobody wants to cook. Because if every meal requires chopping, boiling, baking, and cleaning, the plan will fail on the busiest day of the week. Peanut butter gives you a 5-minute option. For households with allergies, another suitable nut or seed spread can fill the same role. Number 18, bread. Bread covers breakfast, lunches, snacks, and quick dinners. Toast with eggs, peanut butter sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, soup with bread, cheese toast, French toast made with bread that is beginning to dry out. You can freeze part of the loaf and take out slices when needed, which prevents waste. And no, you do not have to bake your own bread to be frugal. Buying bread is often a sensible use of money and time. The goal is not to make every ingredient from scratch. The goal is to use what you buy completely. Number 19, one cooking oil or fat. You do not need 6 different oils for ordinary weekly cooking. Choose one reliable cooking oil that works for most of your meals. You can use it for sautéing onions, roasting vegetables, cooking eggs, making dressing, or preparing rice and chicken. You may also keep butter if your household uses it regularly. But be careful with buying a shelf full of specialty oils and bottled dressings that only work for one recipe. A simple dressing can begin with oil, vinegar or lemon juice, salt, and seasoning. Shake it in a jar and adjust it to your taste. That takes less than a minute. And now we reach the 20th grocery. This is the one that determines whether the other 19 become satisfying meals or a collection of bland ingredients nobody wants to eat. Number 20, salt and a small collection of spices. You do not need a drawer full of spices you never use. You need a small group that matches the food your household enjoys. Start with salt and pepper. Then add a few basics such as garlic powder, paprika, chili powder, cumin, cinnamon, dried herbs, or another seasoning you use often. Why is this so important? Because cheap food becomes expensive when nobody wants to eat it. You can cook a large pot of beans, rice, and vegetables, but if it tastes flat, the leftovers will sit untouched while someone orders takeout. Then you have paid for the groceries and the takeout. Seasoning protects the value of everything else. And the same basic foods can taste completely different depending on the spices. Rice, chicken, tomatoes, and vegetables can become a mild tomato dish one night. With cumin and chili powder, the same ingredients can move toward tacos or rice bowls. With garlic, herbs, and cheese, they can become a pasta-style meal. You do not need endless ingredients to create variety. You need a few ingredients that combine in different ways. So now we have the full list. Rice, beans, eggs, oats, potatoes, onions, carrots, cabbage, frozen vegetables, seasonal fruit, flour, canned tomatoes, chicken, plain yogurt, milk, block cheese, peanut butter, bread, cooking oil, and basic seasonings. Now let me show you how these can become one full week of meals. Day 1. For breakfast, make oatmeal with banana, cinnamon, and peanut butter. For lunch, have egg sandwiches with carrot sticks and fruit. For dinner, roast the chicken with potatoes, carrots, and onions. Cook more chicken than you need because the leftovers are already planned for later in the week. Also cook a large batch of rice while the chicken is in the oven. Day 2. Breakfast can be eggs and toast. For lunch, use leftover roasted vegetables and chicken in a sandwich or rice bowl. For dinner, make beans with rice, tomatoes, onions, and seasoning. Add yogurt on top if you want something cool and creamy. Make enough beans for another meal. Day 3. For breakfast, make yogurt with oats and chopped fruit. Lunch can be leftover beans and rice. For dinner, use the cooked rice, frozen vegetables, onions, and eggs to make fried rice. Add small pieces of leftover chicken if you still have some. This is why cooking extra rice on the first day matters. The third dinner now takes only a few minutes. Day 4. For breakfast, make simple pancakes with flour, milk, eggs, and a little cinnamon. Lunch can be peanut butter toast with fruit and yogurt. For dinner, make chicken and vegetable soup. Use the remaining chicken, onions, carrots, frozen vegetables, potatoes, and broth if you made it from the bones. Serve it with bread. Day 5. Breakfast can be oatmeal with apple or another fruit. For lunch, eat leftover soup. For dinner, make baked potatoes topped with beans, cheese, yogurt, and onions. It uses the same ingredients as earlier meals, but it does not feel like the same meal. Day 6. For breakfast, prepare eggs with fried potatoes and onions. Lunch can be cheese sandwiches with fruit and carrots. For dinner, make a tomato, cabbage, and bean skillet served over rice. Season it differently from the earlier bean meal so the flavor changes. Day 7. For breakfast, use the remaining bread for French toast or serve yogurt and oats. Lunch can be a clean out the refrigerator rice bowl with vegetables, egg, cheese, or any remaining chicken. For dinner, make a simple pizza or flatbread using flour for the dough, canned tomatoes for the sauce, and cheese with any remaining vegetables on top. By the end of the week, the goal is not to have a perfectly empty kitchen. The goal is to have used the most perishable foods, transformed the leftovers, and avoided buying ingredients that only worked once. And remember, your list does not have to be identical to mine. Maybe your household eats lentils instead of beans. Maybe you prefer pasta instead of rice. Maybe you use tofu instead of chicken. Maybe cabbage is expensive where you live and another vegetable makes more sense. The method is what matters. Choose groceries that do at least 2 jobs. Give every perishable food a plan before you buy it. Keep 1 or 2 emergency meals for busy days. And use seasonings to make the same ingredients feel different throughout the week. Before your next shopping trip, look at your list and ask one simple question beside every item. What else can I make with this? If the answer is only one meal, think carefully before buying it. But when one grocery can support breakfast, lunch, dinner, or leftovers, it earns its place in the cart. Tell me in the comments which grocery appears in almost every meal at your house and which ingredient you buy with good intentions but always end up wasting. And if you found this useful, subscribe because in the next video, I will take one of these weekly grocery baskets and turn it into a complete 7-day meal plan with simple portions and step-by-step recipes.